Well, cool guys, awesome. I'm kind of at the helm this week. We got some clips, hopefully, kind of diverse things. We'll look at some midfield dodging, kind of focus, and then more attack focus, and then we'll finish with some on ball stuff. But really, I think the theme for today is you're going to see some tremendous individual effort by guys, whether it's dodging or finishing, and things like that. But the focus really that I want you guys to be thinking about throughout this whole kind of video installment is the entire offense really working together in order to make the plays happen. And it's not going to be, one guy is going to get the credit or two guys are going to get the credit in the stat sheet. But there's really a lot more things at work, and hopefully these clips will kind of show that as we go through and break down. It's really when you're out there, you're never out of the play, and so hopefully we can see that as we kind of go through these things. So we'll start. All these are going to be from the previous PLL season, and then so starting with a game in San Jose. We're going to look at, a dodge from the wing, and kind of a two-man game where the initial dodger doesn't finish his dodge, but he does a really nice job of setting up the next guy in the play in order to finish it off. So we'll go through it. We'll watch it in its entirety, and then we'll run it back and kind of break it down. So.
Archers did not allow a fourth quarter goal in their last game. Atlas didn't score one in their last game despite 18 total in the game. But they need to make up a 3-goal difference here. Make it 4. Ryan Ambler. 12-8.
Ambler with a finish. Awesome. So yeah, guys, like I said, a lot of good stuff there. The first point I want to make is you're going to see 3 dodges, right, as you go through this. And really, as a Dodger, right, I think, sometimes we say this, but we don't want to let the defense dictate where we go when we have the ball in our sticks. And what I mean by that is you'll see on this dodge right here, the defenseman is forcing him down the side, right? But Joey Sankey, being a lefty, right, does a really nice job of carrying the ball down the right side for a couple steps in order to set up his left hand coming around the top, right? So he gets to that spot, he throws it back, and does a really nice job of setting up number 13 for the finish, so we can roll it through there. Oop.
Sorry, I went back here. Wrong way. Bear with me, guys. Here we go.
All good. So you'll see each of the Dodgers, right? They square their guy up, right? Get a good, hard first step, right? And you'll notice some of these guys, they're not dodging full speed, right? But they're getting to good enough spaces on the field, right, like we were talking about, where they can set up somebody else on the offense in order for them to make a play, right? So we can go through here. Nice job, gets the middle and scores, right? So let's run it back to when Sankey gets the ball and he starts to come across, right? So we talked about him setting up for his left hand, right? He goes down with his right, coming back, all right, freeze it right there, all right? So you'll see, right, we said that he wasn't necessarily going full speed, right, but he does just enough, right, that you see that off-ball defender, I think it's Paul Rabel, all right? He's dodging with just enough speed and just enough, being just enough of a threat, right, that he gets the attention of that other guy, right? And he leaves his guy for a split second, right, which now makes that a really tough recovery, right? He's got to get all the way back down, all right, and the offensive player is catching the ball coming back upfield. So if we run it back to when Ambler catches it on the wing there, yeah. Good, freeze it right there. All right, so you'll notice too, guys, a little thing, right? All these passes that are being thrown and these guys are catching it, right? They're not at their ankles where they have to make a spectacular catch and then make a decision about what they're going to do with the ball, right? Everything's right on their ear, and they know exactly what they're going to do once they catch it, right? So what you'll see here is as he catches this ball, he's going to take a couple steps in like he's going to shoot it, right? Give a little jab, which gets that one left leg kind of out of position right there, which makes it easier for him to get one step coming up top, right? He turns his shoulders, and at this point, right, he knows that trail check is coming, right? Because he's past his guy, right? It's the last ditch effort of the defenseman to maybe jar the ball loose, and he does an excellent job of protecting his stick as he comes through there, and takes a pretty big hit, right? Knows that's coming as well, but is able to finish it in the middle of the field.
Nice.
Awesome.
Is Jack on here? No. All right. We'll go on to the next one here, T.
One last thing.
Yeah, please.
In the kind of the thread of playing as a team on offense, it's a really really subtle thing, but you'll notice these guys on the back side, again, not blowing it out, not doing more than they need to, but they do just enough, right, to keep their guys occupied long enough for him to make that shot in the middle of the field. So moving on now, moving below the cage, right, you'll see kind of a different initiation and a very simple play, right? But like what we talked about before, there's some different layers that go into to making this play successful. So let's run through that again. Yeah, you can just roll through it. Beautiful. Awesome. So the first thing that I want to talk about, guys, with this play is Jordan Wolf is honestly one of the fastest players in the PLL, right? So somebody who's playing to his strengths, but also something that really doesn't take talent in lacrosse is being ready when the ball goes out of bounds for the play to start. And if you can have that mindset of as soon as that ball is in your stick, there's a chance that you can get a step on your defender, right? You want to take that every time you can, right? So for him in this position, right, he's almost testing this defender. He's basically saying, if I run as fast as I can, right, can I get a step on that guy, right, that might help kind of start things with the offense? And he does. He gets a little pick right here, but you also notice the pick really doesn't inhibit the defender too much. He's just that much faster, right? So he gets to that good spot. He comes around with his head up, right? And instead of at this point, right, a lot of times when we kind of get some contact at that point, right, the tendency is to kind of fade away and the dodge is over, right? But you'll notice he takes one big step with his right foot into that defender, right? He initiates contact into that guy. Later on, that might be an inside roll or a question mark if he doesn't have that other guy right there. But through the life of the dodge, he's a threat the entire time. So we can roll it through the end here. Beauty.
I think, Ty, if I can throw a couple things in here, couple really good points here, guys, that coach had made. So right here, this pick doesn't necessarily jam him up right here, but if you notice, just by setting a little simple, not quite GLE, right? GLE's up here, but by setting this below goal line extended and Jordan Wolf using his speed, if you notice the defenseman, his angle now, he's got to get in front of the crease in order to play catch up right here. So he's not able to get through. He realizes Wolf has a step on him. If he goes behind the cage, Wolf's going to come around and dunk this. So he's forced to come in front of the goal. And when he does this, watch Jordan Wolf's eyes the whole time. Right here, he realizes he's got this separation. So he's looking to feed this entire time right here. His stick is up. He's looking to feed. He's looking to feed. He's looking to feed. No one's moving. Now he re-engages his man, knowing that they're going to come adjacently, right? So he's baiting the slide to come. He's still testing it. If he beats 33, he's going to the rack. When he realizes, okay, I don't have him beat, sense the slide coming, great job of punching out with his hands right here. He creates a ton of separation from both D guys. Very difficult pass, right? I wouldn't recommend fading away on a pass, but he knows this guy's wide open. So he's putting it to his spot. puts it out there to Danowski, still under pressure, gets a great pass up to Dino's right side here, where he's able to just catch this thing loaded. Look at that, loaded up right there, ready to shoot. He's stepping in at about 13 right here and just putting it home. But it all comes from, team offense like Coach is talking about, using the pick, right, creating space, dodging with your eyes up, looking for people to pass the ball to the entire time, testing your matchup, then stepping away and finding the open man. That was just really, really great offense. That's a great clip, Coach.
Yeah. So, and one thing, just to kind of, we don't have to watch the clip again, but if you guys are, you have some time, obviously being away from school and getting outside, as you guys are going through, if you're doing any kind of dodging, training, cone work, whatever you guys are doing, right? I think the tendency a lot of times is to get through the drill, right? And know where you are. And what I mean by that is you're looking at the cones the entire time that you're going through those things, right? And it's tough. And you're going to step on some cones, right? But the focus should be, and this is because on the lacrosse field, you should never do this. We're never looking at our feet, right? When we're dodging, right? We should always have our head up. And that's, a great example of why if Jordan Wolf was looking, at the ground throughout that dodge, right? He's going to get sandwiched and probably, smoked with a check, right? So knowing obviously where you are on the field, but also where everyone else is as you're dodging is super important. So we've seen midfield, we've seen attack. Now we're going to look at a team who thrived this past season on off-ball movement and just, the importance of when the ball leaves your stick, right, you're never out of the play. And you'll see really everybody in this clip has a part in this goal, and they're moving to a certain spot that they obviously weren't in before, right? But it's not just four guys cutting to the exact same spot. They keep really balanced on the field. Let's run it one more time. Happens pretty quick. Beauty. All right, so heading back to the beginning, we take a look at two guys who are transferring the ball up top. Look how far out they are, right? They're not necessarily in the play right now. There's 15 seconds left on the shot clock, but it still seems like they're trying to initiate their offense. So there's a real sense of urgency here, and you'll see as that first guy throws the ball, he's kind of on a jog, right? He's not full speed, and so he's kind of testing the waters, and as that ball gets down to that good spot, that's when he really turns on the afterburners, right? So he's going right to that guy. He's either catching that ball and scoring, right, or he's 10 yards behind the goal, still in a good spot, to maybe back it up, right? So cutting, but also cutting with a purpose, right? If he didn't get the ball, he's still in a good lacrosse position. Right back there. And as well, right, you see 27, Kevin Buchanan, Buckeye, right, cutting behind that cut, right? So if Recaro doesn't get that ball, right, there's a chance that he drags that defender down with him, and that second cut, there's a chance that might be open as well, too. So as you see it roll through, if Recaro doesn't get it, right, there's a chance that 27 can cut to the ball behind him. And then so when we get to the bigger picture, watch the two guys on the back side, right? So they start inside, right? And as they see these two guys cutting to the middle, right, watch their feet.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. So they're still, as a threat, they're in these lanes, right? But they're vacating the spot, right? So like I was saying before, right, you have four guys moving, right? But they're not moving on the same plane. If you had four guys cutting the field, right, that does you absolutely no good, right? So if the ball, maybe if it isn't even catch or caught, right, it hits the ground once and a guy's still in a good position to pick that up.
Good stuff, T.
And I think, let's run it back one more time. Sorry. I think a huge part of this is field awareness, and we kind of touched on it in the beginning, but just knowing when to cut, right? If if Vaccaro had gone full speed right after he threw that ball, by the time it got to the feeder, right, he'd probably already be past the cage, right? So you see here, this is a perfect view of it, right? Fields has the ball, his eyes are up, and Vaccaro makes that eye contact with him at full speed. All right, so he's not right in front of the goal when he catches it. He's not still standing out where he was. Right, he knows that as that ball gets down to that attackman, he's got to be full speed about 10 yards out, hopefully with a step on his guy.
One other thing you can see here, guys, backside all the way up right here, he's got his stick up in a lane. He's trying to get himself into this lane, right, in case he's open, right? We got two men helping on the inside defensively. So this guy's trying to get a little flash cut here as well, looking for that ball. But again, Coach T's already harped on it, guys. Timing is everything, right? So you know where to go, and just getting there and getting to the right spot isn't good enough. It's about doing it with a purpose and timing it up. And he understands that he made the pass, and by the time it got down here, if he would have sprinted through, it wouldn't have worked, right? So he kind of set it up, and then right here he accelerates, create that little bit of separation, right? You don't need much. He's about a short stick length right there, 2-3 feet difference, and having his stick to the outside, right, outside of his defender, but inside to the ball carrier where he can receive that pass in a very easy motion to be able to put that home. So, I mean, just really good offense, like Coach is saying. Everybody moving right here. This is probably a little design play at the end of the shot clock for these guys at 10. So get it down to the low wing. You got a bunch of cutters. We got a guy on the backside flashing. This guy off the crease is going to pop at the same time these guys come through. Right, so we got a little exchange there, forces the defense to talk, create some separation, right, for just a real easy goal there. So really nice.
No doubt.
And
So guys, as we, kind of wrap up these clips, right? I think we're recording this, right, Coach Kelly?
Yep.
I would encourage you guys. We tried to slow it down for you, as much as we could. But if you can, go back through this, right, and go over kind of some of the teaching points and things like that we talked about, right? Because the goal and really what lacrosse IQ is knowing what you're doing well enough that you don't even have to think about it, right? And you can start thinking about not only what other guys on your team are doing, but also what the defense is doing, right? And that's when you really take that step, right? As a lacrosse player is knowing what you can do, what your team's trying to do, but also beat the defense by knowing what they're trying to do as well. So, Coach, do you have anything else to finish off on here?
No, guys, it's all great stuff. Short and sweet today. Trying to get you guys as much info as we can in a little window. And tomorrow we also have offensive talk, right? So tomorrow we have a special guest with Deemer Class, who is a member of the Chaos, who plays on the team actually that we just saw there score that last goal. He's got first class lacrosse. He does a lot of different training. He's got a really good perspective and really like the way that he teaches. So he's going to be on here tomorrow night. So I'd love to see you guys back on here again, to finish off the week on a high note. So with that being said, we will catch you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. See you, boys.